Peoples, what's good? Back at it. The amazing Big said the ABC is back at it. I was about to say I just made that up, but I didn't. But anyway, for
No,
those
that intro was cute.
for those tuning in for the first time, my name is Big Said, the industry co-sign. I've been doing things like this for a number of years, and this particular platform, my friends are better than yours. The reason I do this is because I have some pretty dope friends, and I'm used to talking to business people, celebrities. I'm sick of all of them. But if I'm going to spend my time with people, I want to spend it with time with people that I feel that if you don't know, you need to know. And today, that's not the case. No, I'm just joking. I apologize. I'm gonna start off like Tanisha used to be an intern when I was at the source. And I don't think I've seen her since. And that
Oh
was
my,
about 94 years ago. So, but
yo,
briefly, I've been watching her like, on LinkedIn and on Instagram and seeing that she's been doing a lot of good things. And we've worked together in the past, briefly. And I just felt like she was one of the people that I feel that you should know, and I'm going to allow her to give a little brief intro because y'all know me. I'm going to do whatever I want and not remember what I did. And I'll just let her start off so that way we can start the show, as they say. Good morning. Well, good evening, Tanisha, where you're at, and
good
good morning.
evening. Yes, it is almost 4:45 p.m. here. Am I good? Am I clear?
Yeah, you're clear.
Okay. I don't know. How do I introduce myself? First of all, you just took me back. Intern for Source. Oh my God, that feels like, and that
It
was
was.
such a, oh my God, I emailed my way into that. I definitely like found that internship. I was not given or I didn't apply or anything. I think I definitely like bulldozed my way into that. Wow. That was a long time ago. That's crazy. Who am I? I am a native of Harlem. I'm very proud of Harlem, New York right now because Rocky just won most stylish or whatever at the CFDAs, and Tiana was hosting the CFTAs. And to me, I'm like hosting and winning. And these are my people that, you know,
Yeah.
we all grew up on Lenox and the East Side and all this other stuff. But so I'm very proud of Harlemite today. And you just interviewed recently another Harlem legend. So I'm very
Actually,
proud to be.
I don't know if I remembered back then because I lived in Harlem and Lenox Terrace.
I'm from Lenox Terrace,
You are lying.
building 40.
I was which one? I was on Fifth Avenue on
You won
45,
2185.
45, 45.
Are you in 40? No, 2185 is Fifth Avenue across from from
I
Lincoln.
mean, I meant to say 132nd off Fifth Avenue, but
Oh, so 45. Yeah,
45.
45.
Yeah, so my bad, my bad.
I
Wow,
grew up in 40.
I don't think I knew that because that definitely would have been a discussion like 90 years ago. And
That is crazy.
I had just moved. I live in Jersey City now, but I had just moved to Jersey City while I was at the source. So I was literally leaving Harlem. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe I had a bad taste in my mouth and I just didn't want to discuss it. I don't know, but I can't believe that Lennox Terrace. I was Lennox Terrace for like 9 years.
Yeah, well,
Wow,
my whole life. I mean, my family still has an apartment there.
wow.
Like Lenox Terrace is the cornerstone of my childhood for sure, my life for sure. So yeah, so I'm a Harlem native. I'm a serial business owner or entrepreneur. I am a lover of music and peaceful moments on my couch. I love to travel. I love to write. And I'm a proud mother of a 3-year-old toddler boy who keeps me very busy and who we might hear from
Of
in
course.
this interview. I am a friend and sister and daughter and all those amazing things.
That's good to know.
Mm.
Um, it's like I'm still like bugging about the Harlem the Lennox
Ooh,
Terrace
that's crazy.
connection. Did you know Eve the rapper used to live under me for like a couple of
Yeah, she's
months?
Riders, and my cousin Bree Skillark, who was on America's Next Top Model,
Yeah.
is Rough Rider family, and Eve was rough. So I was like in that a little bit
So
through Bree. Shout out to Bree.
we could go an hour about your experience because
Harlem. That's what I'm saying. Harlem deserves more respect, guys. We
yeah,
are purveyors of culture in so many ways. Again, we could spend an hour on it, but respect Harlem, even through gentrification.
yeah.
Respect Harlem.
Actually, while we're on the topic of Harlem, because it just came to mind, what do you feel about the Dame Dash Cam and Jim Jones and
I
all of
don't want
that?
to speak.
Because they literally were all in that area. So it's like just funny, just years later and seeing all of this. And yeah, I'm just, like we don't have to talk about it, but I'm just like I said before on that.
I'm Dipset. I'm a Dipset chick for life. Let's start there. But I don't know, Dame. I have my own. I will reserve my opinion.
Yeah, I came up with Dame and we've worked together. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
this is about you. I don't care about anybody else in Harlem right now. It's about Tanisha. So being that you were an intern at the source, so obviously the Harlem connection and hip hop, and then what I know it's kind of a stupid question because growing up in Harlem, you have no other choice but to be around hip hop. But what drew you to hip hop in the case where you did want to intern at the source before your career, shot up and like took off?
Wow. Well, I'm the baby. I'm the fourth child of two brothers and one sister. So I very much grew up with entertainment and hip hop in my home. I thought I was the third member of Cross when I was young. I have like photos and videos. Like I
You wore your
really
clothes
I used
backwards.
I was there all my shit backwards. I can curse, right? Yeah. I used to have cornrows and braids. Like, yeah, exactly. So it was inevitable that I loved music and that obviously I had influences from my parents. So a lot of Motown, a lot of like old school R&B, like real rhythm and blues, and then new influences with my brothers and my sister who were listening to hip hop in the 90s and early 2000s. But at the source, I actually interned in the fashion department.
Yeah, I
And
know
he's
you started with me and left. I think if I'm correct, if I remember, because of course I was the online editor at the time, and
Oh, but then I went over to fashion with, ooh, he's gonna
so
kill me.
as I'm saying, you left because like I guess what for whatever reason, but you want to say fashion, but I won't take it personal, but nah. But maybe that's what it was because you were because the funny thing is like I had about 90 interns, so but but few stood out, and you were one of the ones that stood out. So that's why, like I said, when I saw you on LinkedIn and we reconnected, I'm like, okay, so she's doing her thing. But I said to myself, I'm like, I don't exactly remember. Now you just reminded me, like you did work within fashion. Did you work with what was it William? No, I can't remember whoever it
his
was, but
his name
who
started with an R or something. I hate that I forgot it.
it'll come to me because of
It
course I
might have been William though, but it'll come to you. Yeah.
yeah exactly. But so I asked that question specifically because now you're doing PR,
Mm,
and I know that even with me, because anybody that comes into the entertainment industry in whatever capacity, 90% of the times it's not doing what they thought they would be doing or what they started doing. Because me, even
mm,
as a writer, I never took a journalism class. As a matter of fact, I think my editors think that I'm the worst writer that Black Enterprise has ever come across. But and I've made my career out of writing, which is still bananas because I started off like, I grew up in the Bronx, so hip hop was everything for me. But
mm,
that's why I was asking about the source internship because, of course, you weren't doing PR back then because you wouldn't have been working with me, unless it
mm.
was a writing thing. But what led you to your career choice, and how did we get here?
Yeah. It was definitely a writing thing. So I was an English major in college, Spelman, shout out Spelman College. And I really thought I was going to be a writer. I'm still in love with writing, and I found my way of writing through public relations, obviously being a publicist. So that was my original thought, that I would be a writer. And I loved fashion too. I loved a lot of things. You know, I was one of those kids. I loved a lot of things, but they were all kind of centered around entertainment. And so after I graduated, I worked. I just started my PR company. Like, I didn't go to school or anything for. I didn't work for a major agency or label or anything. I just started my own PR company. But now I do still do PR, but now I do talent management as well. So I manage artists and actors and digital talent, and I've built a management company. Um, we'll get there, obviously, here in South Africa and in New York, and I still use all the same skills of writing and negotiating and communicating. You know.
Well, it's funny because as I told you before we started filming, you know, we just could be all over the place because you'll say something and I'm like, okay, let me ask you about that because I can't pay attention to myself sometimes. So you're from Harlem, went to Spelman, and you're now in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
How did that happen?
Girl, I mean, God needs to tell me. Whoa. I've always, so funny enough, when I was 15, 16, I actually visited South Africa on a domestic exchange. And I really loved it. Yeah, I really, really loved it. It was like a 6-week program because I went to boarding school, and they offered it as a 6-week program, and I did it and I loved it. But I obviously didn't think that I would ever be back. So one of my best friends got married in 2019. And I came to the wedding, obviously, and I ended up meeting a guy out and about. And me and that guy fell in love, and I moved here part-time in 2020. And I've just been back and forth building here and in New York still for the past 5 years.
It's funny because I was going to say that usually when someone makes a move to a different continent, that it has to be for someone that they're falling for. So when you said that, I was like, oh, okay. So, you know, that makes sense. And I didn't know that you were in South Africa before. So I definitely didn't know
Mm.
that. But, you know,
So
curiosity.
it's like all serendipitous because I had visited here when I was in my teens. But I love South Africa, man. I mean, I'm sure you have more questions about it. I can go on and on about it. But
Now I know I have limited time with you. So I'm going to try to
okay.
condense whatever we talk about because I know that it's going to be like all over the place. But more
Yes.
importantly, I want to discuss your business because I know you started the Rebelle Agency and now you have the Rebelle Management. And yeah, just you've already explained. And the funny thing is, like I said, we all are doing things that we didn't think we'd be doing, but then you know we become successful at it. And like what goes through your mind when it comes to the clients that you decide to represent or just the business that you take on because I know it's so many different aspects that can go into whatever business decision, but what does the initial thing that will get you interested in wanting to either represent a company or a client?
Yeah. Ooh. A company and client is, I mean, a company and talent is different. I think when I first PR company, we did work with musicians. We work with labels with like their newer artists. For a long time, I did PR for Elle Varner, who's still a really good friend of mine. I've done some stuff through management companies with like Tamar Braxton and different people. So music is definitely in our space, and I love R&B, so it's kind of an easy thing to work with R&B artists. And then it kind of grew to tech, and I didn't initially set out to only work with Black owned companies and kind of Black people, but it just so happened to be that, which I loved. We worked with an amazing coffee company um, called oh shit, what's the name? It's been so long. But I've worked with coffee companies. I've worked with tech companies. We worked with the Lip Bar with Melissa Butler when it first came out. as they and we're starting to get investors for their mobile van. So we've done a lot of really amazing things. I think I got really burnt out by PR around 2018. I'd been doing it for 6 years on my own, building my own business. And it was tough in New York City, right? Trying to live and be in my 20s. And it was a lot. So I did kind of crash out in 2018, 2019. And what happened was a good friend of mine, Tracy G, who's on Sirius XM
I
or
know Tracy.
Pandora now, with Sway.
Hi, Tracy.
She Hi Tracy. Hi girl. Her birthday's coming up. But we don't know when this is gonna come out, Sid. So I'm not gonna say no dates. Okay.
Okay.
Jake. So she kind of came to me and her manager had just left. I think her manager was just like moving on to other things. And she was like, I really want you to manage me. And at the time, Instagram had really kind of just taken off. This had to be like maybe 2017, 2018. Instagram just started in 2013. So Tracy was heavily on Instagram and then, of course, growing her brand on the radio. And I was like, okay, I needed something different. I just needed not to get rejection letters or not to be ghosted by editors. I mean, I needed a break. And so I started managing her, and it was beautiful because it was all the skills that I already had, but I was talking to brands and actually doing work and making an impact. So it was really, really beautiful. And that question or that her idea about me managing her grew into Rebelle Management, which is now a management company on 2 continents. We manage actors and musicians and digital talent. We've had a really great run over the past 8 years, but only 2 years in South Africa, but 8 years overall. So yeah.
It's funny because that's usually one of the questions. I've had several publicists on here because I know that publicists are usually behind the scenes making it happen, and that's why I want to acknowledge certain ones. But I've always asked because I know that everyone knows I hate publicists just in general, just because I'm always being
Okay, we get a
pesky.
bad rap. Publicists need better PR.
I know, no, but I don't say in the fact that they don't do a good job. It's just that most of my emails and contacts are from publicists and management because trying to get placement. But I've always wondered because I've been approached about doing PR and even management, and I'm like, I can't deal with.
Yeah.
I'm not used to being rejected. No.
No,
and that's the thing because I know that like and the thing is I use rejection only because a lot of my PR friends would be like, "You're always rejecting me." And it's like I'm not rejecting you. I might be rejecting your ideas. I might be rejecting the timing, whatever. But I don't know if I strong enough to reach out to 50 publications and only 3 are interested. And that's what I'm saying. So it's like I know how my ego works. So I'd end up being at a party and choking an editor from a magazine that said no to me. So I'm like, I don't know how have you been able to deal with that when you were doing strictly PR? Because as you stated, when you said that, it struck in my mind because I'm like, I know that is something that I've had publicists who actually hate me, or they'll say to me after I've been trying to get stuff on your site for like 10 years, and you finally I'm like, yeah, but I'm being approached by 900 of you. So it's like I got to either pick and choose, or I got to. My emails are crazy, and yeah, it's not about me, but it's about you. But how are you able to like function because the success rate, even if you're successful, the success rate when you contact is usually a failing rate when it comes to numbers. How are you able to deal with that and move forward and continue?
Yeah, I think, that's a great question. I think what I love about PR and management is like you're figuring out a puzzle, right? So like I have to figure this out, right? And like the rejection doesn't bother me anymore. It was a lot like when I was trying to pay my bills, but once you get to like a certain level financially, the rejection is not really it. Because to me, it's like, how do I figure out what that person needs? You know what I mean? Like, clearly, I'm not giving them what they need. So how do I figure out what that person needs? And then I'm able to give that to them, and then I can win in the end.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't always work. It doesn't always come to fruition as a press hit. But to me, it's the constant, like, who is this person? What are they like writing about? Like, I really enjoy unraveling them. I've always been against mass emailing editors. I've always been against that. Like, there's a lot more work on the back end with PR than people think. If you're going to be a good publicist that's specifically sending stories to specific people, there's a lot of back end work that needs to happen. There's a lot of research, a lot of time too. It's like it's a lot of time invested. So PR to me is a strategic job.
Yeah.
And yes, it's a numbers game. Like, the more emails I send, the more I'll get back. And trust me, I send hundreds of emails a week. But it's also like a figuring out thing. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm gonna hit you said, I'm gonna hit something that I think you would like specifically. Now, if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. But you have to a bunch of other people in editor meeting. So if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. But at least I knew, no, I pitched him something that if it was gonna work, it was gonna work. Like, it wasn't bullshit. So I enjoy it because I love the strategy and the strategic thinking and the people and the understanding people aspect. And then, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's good. That's good to hear. It's always been a thing for me when people. I didn't realize until a couple of years ago that by me not responding, you would think that that would be like an automatic no, even though that's
Yeah.
not what me, because I get 3,000. I probably got 3,000 emails by the time you finish that last sentence till now. But then publicists I became cool with, like they will explain to me like I've got to take something back. So it's like
Exactly.
I started becoming more cognizant of that because if I'm getting 300 emails and I have to respond to each one, I'm not getting work done. I'm not doing what
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be doing. So
Yeah.
I also try to make publicists understand that sometimes I can't, or I'll get an email a month later and it's like, oh, that campaign's over. And I'm like, oh, sorry. But I also try to, like, even when dealing with you, try to, I can't, or my editor doesn't want to even respond to me, let alone give me a response. That's a different story. But
No,
I've
but
had
you're right. That's where relationships come in, right? So it's
yeah,
like, I have the relationship with Seth where when he sees my name, at least he says, Tanisha, not right now.
exactly, yeah,
And moves on, right? That's the relationship aspect that people are really paying for. They're paying for response, whether it's yes or no. If someone doesn't have a relationship with you, you're going to archive that thing and move on. But if you see that I'm emailing you, at least you're going to be like, okay, I presented this, but they didn't do it, or it's not going to fit right now, and you keep it moving. You know what I mean?
yeah. One or two things. I'm either gonna get sick of you and just ignore you completely, or I'm gonna respect the fact that you're still reaching out. And like you said, you develop some type of rapport because, like I said, if I was to get $1 for each email I got, I wouldn't have to write. But that's
Yeah.
another story. That's another story.
And the
So
thing is, with friends, I don't get offended if they don't write about
yeah,
something, right? So that's another thing. Like, the relationship has to mean more than the transaction. So yes, I'm reaching out to you and I'm expecting you to respond to me, but I'm not expecting you to do it just because we're friends, right? There's some levels there, obviously, right? If I got some dirt on you, I do expect you. No, but I'm Olivia Pope your ass. But I don't expect that. So you're gonna get the same energy from me if you're able to write about my thing or not. And
yeah,
I think that just keeps the relationship authentic.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Now, when it comes to, like I said, people that I bring on this, there's always some type of accolades because they're great. My friends are better than yours for a reason. And I was looking on Instagram today, and I was like, okay, so she had to go out and be featured in Glamour South Africa just so she can have something to brag about when she comes on the show. You know,
Exactly.
congratulations with that.
Thank
And
you.
and as I stated, like I get joy out of featuring people as opposed to product or moments because that's what we're here for, like to celebrate those. But with me, I always get more excited knowing that somebody I know or I've worked with have done and is being acknowledged for doing certain things. And you've been in several magazines and several websites and things of that nature.
Mhm.
As a publicist, because or manager, publicist manager who is used to getting the people the spotlight, how does it feel when the spotlight is brought on you, not because you want it, but because you're doing the work and people are recognizing it?
Ooh, said. I mean, you're literally asking this at the perfect time because when the request came in from the editor, I was like, oh, okay, like I'll answer these questions. Is this going to be in print? And she's like, yeah, of course. And I'm like, what? I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Because, like you said, I've had a bunch of digital articles. I love digital articles. It's something to point to, something tangible. But I've never, from what I remember, I've never been in print. Not in print as an article of myself. I've been in books, like quotes and stuff from like published books, but I've never been in print. And so I was like, what? This is crazy. So when I didn't know that I was going to be as excited as I was. I was like, oh, I go and buy magazines with my clients in them all the time. I'm very excited when that happens because it's literally the work right there. But to see my face and to see like my words, yo, it was kind of like inexplicable. And I literally talked to my clients and I was like, is this how you feel when you're in a magazine? They're like, yeah, this is how it feels. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So honestly, I just was very grateful to God, to the editor, for seeing me, because again, I like being in the background. And so it's weird when someone sees you and they're like, yeah, you're great. You should, yeah, it's an inexplicable feeling. It really makes me want to work harder because I'm a workaholic. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing to be recognized for your work. You know what I mean? Like the things you do for other people, well, for me, for other people. So I was really proud of myself.
Now, when it comes to your work and the way you operate, because
Mm-hmm.
of course being from New York, where that's a whole
Mm-hmm.
different animal on every level, and of course being a Harlem native, branching out to South Africa, like how does your business sense either match or does it differ in a different region? Even if it's a South African client and you're getting American placement, like I don't know the scene in South Africa. I've never
Mm-hmm.
been there. So I don't know how it's operated or how people, of course, I've done articles of people that's from South Africa and things of that nature, but is it a different mindset when you're dealing with certain clients regionally? Because of course, if based on businesses, of course, it depends on what it is, movies, whatever. But regionally, because like I said, it's a different, and they may have a different mindset when it comes to, placement and things of that nature in a different country. Sorry.
Like you said, I'm a New Yorker, so I keep it very straight. Um, Even today, my Uber driver was like, I didn't greet him. I like messaged him and I was like, where are you on your way? And he was like, hello. And I was like, okay. um, it's very, very prevalent how I am, my grit and all of that. And some people love it because South Africa is a little uh more humble, I would say. They're a little bit slower to the work ethic is a little slower. Obviously, there are outliers. There are people that I know that are like crazy workaholics, but in general, the work pace is a bit slower, and they're just more humble, right? Like they don't really brag about themselves. They don't really say that they need something very specifically. And I will come in there and be like, I need this, this, and that. We could take it, we could leave it. You know what I mean? No love lost. But they don't really negotiate like that. And so, and that's, we can talk about it, but to me, in my perspective, they're a very new country democratically and in thinking that they deserve good things, right? But that's a whole nother conversation. So, yeah, I just feel like I've learned that I've learned to take what I can from it to be strengths. So I do think that being direct and I do think that being super clear and what I need and what I want is a green flag, is a positive thing. And then on the other side, I do think that greeting someone with pleasantries and um, being a little bit more nurturing, more like honey, you know what I mean, is a good thing, right? So I've learned to take what I could from my New York grit and apply it. And I think the people who get it. And I've built some great relationships with clients who absolutely get it. And then I've met people who it didn't work out and we couldn't work together. But I would definitely say it comes up a lot. My New York aggression.
I was like, you can't be nice in New York.
No,
We have a different type of nice. I should say we have a different type of nice.
yeah, we would no, no. I tell people I'm not nice. I'm kind. I understand what's right and wrong, and I'm gonna be kind to you, but I'm not a nice person. Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I tell people.
I got it. Now, being
By the way, so
huh?
he just my son just walked in. But go ahead.
Of course, of course. Being there, you go. No, being a black-owned woman. Hey, how you doing? Hey, you got on a Mets hat.
Yes, he
Should
does. That's his
should be
favorite hat.
should be Yankees, but
It
I get
should be Yankees, but his uncle took him to a Mets game this summer. Say hi.
listen. It's New York. Hi, how are you?
Say I'm from Harlem.
With that hat, you got to wear the hat a little more slanted to be from Harlem. Let me stop.
Doesn't matter.
But
Did you have a good time?
um,
Yeah. I'm listening.
no, I just lost my train of
You
thought.
know, mothers, we can multitask. I'm listening to you.
That's okay. There we go. We go in that direction. Um, being a mother, a business owner, black, and a woman. Well, of course, you're a woman if you're a mother, but anyway. Um,
Well, let's not get into that, child.
I did,
I
yeah,
don't need.
yeah. I thought about it once it came out of my mouth. But um, how are you able to handle? How are you able to juggle everything and still be able to smile or function? Because that is a lot. I mean, own, running a business is a lot in itself, but then you throw in the other lifestyle aspects, and then, like I said, being a woman and then being a black woman, like how are you able to juggle all of that and still be able to smile?
Well, I'm going to give you the PG version because there's another version of an answer to that question that I don't want to condone any vices for any people, but outside of that, who I think I had heard it somewhere. Maybe Michelle Obama said it or something, but like, or another powerful woman. Um, you can be all things, but not all things at the same time. And I really take that to heart. So when I'm working, I'm working. When I'm a mother, I'm a mother. When I'm a friend, I'm on that phone and I'm not listening to anything else. When I'm with my clients, I'm with my clients. I'm very intentional about being present in whatever hat and role I am doing at that moment. If I'm Tanisha and by myself, I'm very intentional about that. And so, yeah, I would say my motto is I can be all things, but not all things at the same time. And then, like you said, I am Black. I'm also Puerto Rican. I don't talk about being Afro Latina a lot.
What the cologne part kind of caught
You
me
know,
early on.
my mother is Puerto Rican. She's from Vega Baja. Um, And I don't talk about being Afro Latina, like, because obviously I grew up in New York. And, all Puerto Ricans are basically black in New
Yeah,
York. So, um, we come from a line of hardworking women. I mean, it's just in our nature to do whatever we do to the best of our ability, and sometimes at the detriment of ourselves. So I would say that yes, I'm a hard worker. However, I've definitely taken on modern ideology of like, nah, I'm gonna need a self-care day. I'm gonna need a moment. I'm overwhelmed. I definitely take on that ideology, but I'm a hard worker just by nature in everything that I do, whether that's motherhood or business owner or whatever.
yeah. Like I said, I know you have to tend to mother duties soon, so I'm gonna try to.
No, 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 it's fine. See, and another thing is I have full-time help. There's another thing about South Africa that I love the States. And like I said, I am back and forth. I do spend half my time there. But what it's allowed me to do working from here is to have full-time help, so I can be a mother and be a mother at full battery, and I can also be a business owner at full battery. So it's very normal, very much of the norm here to have like full-time help if you're a mother. So yeah, I do. So I don't have to really rush anywhere. Only I do bedtime. That's my only hard thing. I do bedtime.
Well, like as you stated with your trajectory to becoming a business owner, and even your choice to do PR without working at it, because that's rare, especially when you don't set out to do publicity, but then your first job is basically something that you're doing because of what you've created, as opposed to working with an agency or a company
Yeah.
or dabbling. So, how are you able to just jump into it and then realize that this is something that you're going to do and it's going to basically carry you into, of course, the management aspect? Because that's a big task. That's a big ask of anyone to do a PR company, period. But then just to do it,
Yeah.
just say, you know what, I want to be a publicist, so let me just start my own company. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah. Definitely credit it to a Spelman sister of mine who saw me in my sophomore junior year of college and basically saw the things that I was doing. So I was a party promoter in school. I was obviously very social, and she kind of said that I should look into public relations, as a career. And I'd never even thought about that. And so I started this online, on campus student organization for Black the PR Society in Atlanta. We started a Spelman College chapter, and I brought in BET to run like marketing master classes and different like they partnered with us on doing marketing for their TV shows at the time, and then ended up doing a marketing and PR internship with BET a summer, I think, before my senior year. So that really kind of started my like, oh, PR marketing, kind of, oh, maybe I could do this. And then I worked for somebody. I worked for two companies actually after I graduated Spelman. And in each role, I said, I could run this company better than these people. And I have this just unabashed confidence. Like I just have been born with the confidence that I could do anything. I don't know if it was how I was raised or whatever, but I really felt like I have wings and no, like no, I'm never gonna fail kind of thing. And that kind of like delusion is important if you're a business owner because we fail all the time. So, but I can't look at them as failures.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think getting the validation from like my Spelman sister and then going off and doing a few internships in the space and then working for other people and realizing I can run a business better than this. It caused me to start my business. And then my brother was the first investor in my business. He helped me incorporate it and he gave me money, startup capital. So shout out to him and my family in general for just being super supportive. And yeah, I never thought that I couldn't do it. Like, I don't know. I just never thought it was never an option that it wouldn't work or that I couldn't do it. Same for the management company. Like, once I got the handle of what it entailed, I just was like, start a company. Like, I don't know, what else to do with this. Like, I can't just do it for one person. I don't know. It's just in me, I guess. And Tim, there's one thing I want to say about it. So, one, just this kind of delusional confidence. Two, support from my friends and family, financially and emotionally, which definitely helped at the beginning. And I think I thrive in professional environments where I'm behind the scenes. So like PR as a publicist, you're very much behind the scenes. You're building a story, you're building a brand, you're representing them. Talent management is not too far off. I'm still behind the scenes, building a story, building a brand. So I think that I really thrive in those type of professional environments.
Well, it's funny because I actually started the industry cosign. Like, I think I was writing the industry cosign before I even started writing for any publications, even the source, even when I went to the source. So I get the feeling, and for me, it was just a matter of people listen to me. I've always had the knack to build an audience, and at just like you were, I was a party promoter as well. So I was always able to bring people out. So I use that to my advantage, because even
Yep.
today, like editors of Black Enterprise, they be yelling at me every day about my writing. I'm like, am I that horrible? But I can bring people in. I mean, so that's always gonna be my strength, because there's no one that has brought in more eyes to Black Enterprise than me. That's factual.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm gonna take this to the grave until I'm dethroned. But so
Exactly.
I definitely understand the mindset, because never taking a journalism class, and even today, when my editors yell at me, I'm like, oh, sorry, and then move on to the next story.
Yeah, literally.
What are the plans going forward, if there's anything that you'd like to discuss? And when I say plans, I don't mean anything in particular, unless you have anything in particular, but just in general, because I guess it's a play on where do you see yourself in 10 years, but don't want to sound so corny. But at the
Right.
same time, you might have a vision that, or it could be a situation where you don't have a vision, and well, I'm trying to guide you to an answer when I don't even have to. But what is in the future for Tanisha Colon-Bibb?
Ooh, I have a lot in the pipeline. Not that I say yet,
Yeah,
but
of course.
um, I'm really interested in building wealth and legacy for my family. And what that means is diversifying income streams and business ventures and different things like that. I'm very interested in expanding into other parts of Africa, like Kenya, West Africa, Nigeria, and Ghana, even sub-Saharan Africa, Zim, Namibia, Botswana. I'm very, very interested in just expanding our African footprint, and the UK. I've always said that I've wanted to connect the diaspora across all continents. Um, and that still stands. That's still very important to me. I did put the PR agency kind of on pause for a long time. And so I'm very excited about reigniting that in 2026. And, reaching out to old clients and old, people, like said, and letting them know that we're back in business. But I needed to put that on ice for a little bit because PR was stressing me out. But now PR is so much more. And so I've really been in education phase of like, where is PR now and how do I see my vision or my perspective of PR being different, and what's going to be the nucleus of our company going forward? Because I started Rebelle Agency in 2012. This was before Instagram. So it was before digital PR. Now we have AI. I mean, there's just so much. PR has dramatically, I don't think we talk about this a lot, but it has dramatically changed in the last 13 years. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about growing the talent agency in Africa and in the UK, and I'm really excited about a few business ventures that I will be glad to share with you when
When it
we
happens.
when it happens. Yeah.
No, that's fair. That's fair, because of course we're coming to the conclusion, which is the reason why I asked. But damn, you said something that I had on my mind, and I just messed myself up. Ah, well, anyway,
Sorry.
well, anyway, I'm gonna
Mm,
always take. This is something that I enjoy doing because I can. I'm going to take credit for your success, because I can be like, you are I brought you on as an intern at the source, and look at you now. So I'm gonna take that, and which
you
is the
should take
premise,
that. I'll give
which,
it to you.
which is the premise for my friends are better than yours, because as I stated, I definitely want to thank you for taking the time to do this, because we're in different time zones, and just like you, I'm thinking about what I need to be doing in the future that's going to make me happy, as opposed to making other companies happy or other people happy, but not really making me happy. And yes, I'm
Exactly.
saying what I'm saying, and I'm saying it in public, and take what you want out of it, not you specifically,
Exactly.
okay, whoever's listening. Um, but I have realized, and even in conversations with you and other people I feature on the show, everybody who ends up being happy is because they're doing something, not because it pays them, but because it's something that's in their heart, or something that they always wanted to do. And even though I enjoy writing, I don't enjoy it as much, because it's not as fun anymore. And I think I'm going even maybe towards, I mean, I've been told talk shows. I mean, there's so many different avenues that I can definitely take up. But I just know that I'm not going to leave the industry, so to speak. But I just have to make sure that I can be like Tanisha and just pick up and do what I want to do and make it happen and then be happy and then move to a different continent and start another business.
I mean, I say this to people, and again, like, take what you want of it, but you literally have all the resources and tools to make the life that you want.
That's true.
And I know that that sounds different for a lot of different people because there are a lot of different people are in different spaces. Like I said, financially, emotionally, mentally. But if you focus on yourself, if it's mentally where you're having issues, find you a free or cheap therapist, get your mental right. If it's physically, like there's literally no reason why you can't make the life that you want, right? And I'm not talking about tomorrow or next week. I'm talking about eventually, right? You can start now, and in 5 years, your life can look completely different.
That is definitely true.
That's just my little soapbox. That's all I'm gonna tell people. Like my little hashtag that I have on my social media page is get some purpose. And it's literally like get some purpose. Like it's just like medicine. Like if you have purpose and whatever, let that drive you and let you focus on you and that purpose and live the life that you want to live. Yo, it pains me to see people like just not doing what they are supposed to be doing or they want to do. It pains me.
Yep. And that ends my portion of. So, what advice do you give to people without me having to ask? But it is sage advice and definitely something that there's somebody that's watching this now that definitely needed to hear that. And I do appreciate, like I said, you taking the time to tell us.
Yeah.
Um,
And sorry, I want to say this. Like, I've been doing this thing on my own 13 years, right? I started my first business 2012, 13 years. I've had, like you said, articles written about me. I've had successes, but like, this is the first year that I was telling my dad, and I also wrote on Threads. He saw it on Threads. I'm like, how did you see that? But anyways, I said, I'm so excited about the future, and I haven't been for a long time. And that's 13 years of doing what I want, building a business, da, da, da. And just now am I like, yo, I'm really excited about the future. So it doesn't happen overnight.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It happens because you decide and then you focus and then you're disciplined. And then in 10 years, it happens. For some people, it happens overnight, but
yeah.
in 10 years, it happens.
Well, I like focus and discipline, but the industry code sign did celebrate 21 years this year, and I am excited because of some of the things I had planned.
Good.
And like you said, sometimes you just
And
have to.
be audacious. Be
Yeah,
audacious. Like, so I mentioned my dad because I got a little ADHD. I mentioned my dad because he said to me, I thought you've always been excited about the future. Like you're such an optimistic person. And that was so interesting to hear that from him because, like, yeah, I mean, I'm optimistic, but I had to explain to him, it's like, no, like, I don't know, there's something different. I feel so focused. I feel like God and me are in a really good place. We're partnering up really well. And I'm just like super excited. Another thing is be audacious because I was just with a girlfriend of mine. She's a little bit more timid than me. And I told her, I said, she has her own business and it's in social media marketing. And I told her, I said, when you go out to dinner, when you go out, do you ask like, oh, who's the manager? Who's da da da? Ask them if they have an agency. Ask them, because I used to do that when I was in PR. I used to say, who does your PR? Who does this? Who does that? And she texted me the other day and she said she did that at dinner and she got an RFP for a Michelin starred restaurant who is interested in her agency doing their social media marketing. And she texted me and she said, it's all because of what you told me and what you told me you did. And I'm like, thank you. Be audacious. Because she's already won. Whether she gets the job or not, she's
that's
already won because she's over the hump of like asking, the universe for what she wants.
she does.
So
Yeah.
be
Well,
audacious.
tell me something. Let me stop. Um, I have to actually go and continue my writing that I
Okay.
enjoy immensely, and I do appreciate your time. And oh, is there any way people can reach out to you if they have potential business for you or
Yeah,
just
birds, pigeons. No, I'm joking. Yeah, email. Which my email's on my LinkedIn. So Tanisha Colon-Bibb right here. On LinkedIn. My email is there. It's a little bit long. And then yeah, on social DM me. And I usually, get people mail that way. But yeah,
well, once again, I appreciate your time. Good luck with any and everything that's coming up. And I'm pretty sure that we'll be talking in some capacity.
we will.
And for anyone who has stayed into the end, thank you for participating in the conversation. Well, not
Yeah.
participating, but listening to the
For
conversation.
being here, yes.
You know, and as I state all the time when I'm in front of this camera for this particular program, my friends are better than yours. And if you don't think so, prove me wrong. Show me your friends, and more than likely they're either friends with me already or they're better than yours.
I
Once
love
again,
that.
Big said the industry code sign. Thanks, Tanisha, Rebel Management, and if you're ever in South Africa, just look for her.
Hit me up, Johannesburg.
You just mentioned her name. Somebody be like, "Oh, just go down that woods and go this way and up."
Oh my God, oh my God. You need to get to South Africa.
I do, and I had a chance 2 years ago, but the agency that contacted me like a week before, and it was for like 10 days, and then I had to get shots. I'm like, come on,
Sure. Oh,
give me.
that has been a minute ago. Shots. We don't do
Yeah, it
shots
was
anymore.
about 2, 3 years ago, maybe
No
right
long
after COVID. I don't know.
shots.
This is what they told me. This is like there's certain things I had to get because whatever. I don't know. Unless they just told me that to discourage me from.
I don't know. Maybe because there's no shot. You used to have to get yellow fever, but not now.
I can't remember, or I could be. I don't know, but I just remember that even the fact that it was for 10 days and they contacted me like a week before. I'm like, is this so much I have to do within a week? I'm like, I can't pick up and leave. So I missed out on that opportunity. But they said they'd contact me, but I guess they didn't want because they haven't contacted me. But anyway,
What
I will
up?
give.
That city. Hit them up.
I can't even remember who it was to be honest. But when you do one of your launch parties or events, maybe I'll just fly down and then just appear.
I'll do
Or
a little. Yes, we'll do a media fly down. You know what? I got a little.
see,
Okay.
there you go. There we go. So it's going to happen, whether it's via Tanisha or via said, it's going to happen.
It's
Um,
gonna. Thank
but
you so much, Ed. I
once again,
appreciate you.
no
You're a
problem.
legend. You're
I,
continuing to be a legend,
all,
and
all
I'm
I
very
can do is
happy to
try.
be your friend.
All I can do is try. Tell the people that Black Enterprise that. See, let me stop. Okay,
You're
so
in a
till
toxic
next
relationship.
time.
Oh my
Big
God.
said the industry code sign. Till next time, thanks once again. And yeah, my friends are better than yours.